So we can now go and upgrade my pants. Butcher? What the fuck? Okay. Hi guys, Zasmo here, and that was a little highlight from yesterday's stream where we completely melted Butcher, and I had actually no idea before that you can find Butcher in the cellars, so that's a little nice encounter. That's an additional encounter that you can find in the cellars as well. And now you can see a footage of just me running a dungeon with my build. I want to talk a little bit about the patch notes, how it affects the build. It's a pretty funny situation actually with the patch notes, and then after this dungeon I'm gonna show you some upgrades. I got like a really good unique pair of gloves that if you're playing a ranged rogue is gonna be a very nice find, so definitely don't miss out on that if you find it. There's tons of uniques that are not very useful for this character, because uniques are usually like pretty build specific, they're pretty narrow in their scope, but that unique actually that I'm gonna show you is extremely strong for this build. But that after the dungeon. First let's talk about the patch notes. So in the patch notes, Rogue got nerfed in so many different ways. Twisting Blades got nerfed, as if that was the strongest build. Like so many different things got nerfed. However, Rapid Fire got actually buffed, and one of the reasons why Rapid Fire got buffed is because people really don't know how to build the Marksman Rogue, right? So people don't understand what you're supposed to do, like that you're supposed to play Penetrating Shot and Rapid Fire, right? People for some reason just cannot comprehend that you can use more than one core skill, because they think that somehow you're losing points, like you're losing passive points, even though you're spending passive points to get more clear and you're spending passive points to get more damage, as you would do in any other build, right? So as you can see, the build is absolutely blasting through the dungeons. It's just easy mode all the time, and I haven't had a weapon upgrade in a while. It's been many levels. Like I upgraded this weapon at level 50. Now in this footage I'm level 56. I'm level 60 right now in game, or 62 actually. I'm level 62 and I still haven't upgraded the weapon because it's like so difficult for me to find that upgrade. This crossbow that I found was just a little bit ahead of the curve, but I think it was like around level 55 is where it's like relatively normal in terms of like the power level. So that's what you're seeing in the footage right now. Working on the Paragon boards, I'm just looking at my build and basically picking what, like based on what glyphs I have, whatever is the next good thing to put, and then later I'm gonna readjust them when I have all of the Paragon points in order to min-max it and make it kind of optimal. But glyphs got nerfed as well, but that was basically nerfed across the board for everybody, so basically everybody's power level was a little bit toned down. I think this is a good time for Blizzard to be doing this. People are saying, oh no, in the middle of a hardcore race. Bro, nobody cares about the hardcore race. The people who are, I don't know, for me it's like an absurd thing to be racing right now in like the pre-season at the beginning, where it's like your first time playing the game, unless of course it's not your first time playing the game because you had the like the reviewer access or whatever, which I didn't. So this is my first time playing the game, so I'm just enjoying the hell out of it. Like I'm enjoying in World Tier 3 right now, doing different quests while doing Hell Tides. So for example, like there's a Hell Tide happening. As I'm doing a quest, as I'm exploring, finding the altars of Lilith, doing all of that, I get like 2 out of 5 regions to maximum renown to get all of the bonuses, and after I get the bonuses in all of the regions, I'm probably gonna be around level 70 and go to World Tier 4 and then start doing Nightmare Dungeons to get some levels on my glyphs. But people are like using different exploits to get as much XP and as much loot as early as possible, and for me that's kind of like you're skipping the game, right? Later on you're gonna still have to like not be able to craft your gear because you're not gonna have stuff from Hell Tides, right? Like the materials, the souls, right? And the roses. So doing Hell Tides is pretty important, and I'm doing all of that while exploring the world, while doing the side quests, which some of the side quests, I don't know, I saw someone say about like that the side quests are not good. The side quests are really good actually. There are so many side quests that are like cool stories where you're like, this is gonna be a little bit of a spoiler, right? But there's a story where like some guy asks you to find some artifacts, and turns out it's a demon, and then you go into a dungeon and you like move like mirrors to beam the light into him and dispel his illusion and show that he's a demon, and he collects artifacts. And then afterwards, you know, you don't kill him, you actually still end up finding artifacts for him, right? Because that feeds him instead of killing people. So there's like lots of really cool side quests and really cool stories, and the world is so insanely well crafted. And the Hell Tides are actually such a brilliant idea to include in the game, because it basically helps you have a reason to do more like open world activities, and the fact that you need resources from that is really good. So now we're coming up to the boss. You can see the damage right now. I do have the shrine exploding on top of him, but bosses normally die in like 2 attacks if I let the poison tick them down, right? So it's a huge amount of damage. So let's look now at the build, and my character right now is level 62. We got a nice black transmog here of like an actual rogue character, and I got a couple of uniques here that I'm wearing that are pretty interesting. So the first one is the less interesting one. That's the Condemnation. So it's basically a dagger that gives you like a bonus when you're using combo points. If you're spending 3 combo points, which you usually want to spend 3 combo points because it's a huge multiplier to your damage, then you're going to be doing 20 to 40% increased damage, and also you have a 30% chance to generate max combo points with just 1 attack. So sometimes you can, if you pay attention to your combo points, you don't have to attack 3 times. You can just attack once or twice, and then you're gonna be at max combo points and do the maximum damage. So that's one upgrade that I got here that is unique. And then another unique, which is really useful for me, is the Grasp of Shadow. One of the main reasons why this is useful is because it has +2 to ranks of all core skills, and because I use 2 different core skills in the Penetrating Shot and the Rapid Fire, I'm benefiting. I get +2 to both, right? So I get level 7 Rapid Fire, level 7 Penetrating Shot, which is very nice. And then we've got Attack Speed, Vulnerable Damage, both really good stats that are really good offensive stats. And then we got the Clone. So the Clone is insane. Lucky hits damaging a vulnerable enemies with a marksman or cutthroat skill have a, in my case, 25% chance to summon a shadow clone that mimics your attacks. It's insane, right? It's basically 25% more damage if you're hitting, if you're having the lucky hit, right? Actually, it's a little bit less than that because it has to be lucky hit, so it doesn't proc that often. But I still have a very high chance for lucky hit, because if you look at, for example, Penetrating Shot, right, it has 50% lucky hit chance, right? And we're hitting a lot with these. I don't know if lucky hit is rolled once or multiple times per shot, but this is a very high lucky hit chance, one of the highest in terms of like AoE skill that hits a lot of the targets. This is really good. And then Rapid Fire has 20% chance, but it does hit a lot of times. It shoots 8 arrows, right? And it's gonna shoot even more arrows with a glyph, so it's doing a lot of hits, so we have a lot of chances for this to repeat. And the important part is that because we're playing with combo points, each of our attacks is super impactful, right? So repeating an attack that's like just a random one small hit that you're doing, like, I don't know, you're doing like a flurry or something, that's actually not that good. But repeating like a giant fucking imbued, empowered 3 combo point penetrating shot, that's actually really strong. And sometimes you're gonna just do insane burst with this, right? So this is a very powerful item, and it's gonna take a really long time until I can upgrade that. The rest of the gear is pretty straightforward. I upgraded the ring recently because it had a really good stats like poison damage, vulnerable damage, damage to poisoned enemies, crit chance, so it's super powerful ring. And then I finally found the Amber's Aspect. So I got these pants with Amber's Aspect. I found them, I think, I don't know if from the ground, but I just keep gambling, just like 20 pants at a time. I just keep getting so many different uniques, but I only found 2 pants with the Amber's Aspect. It's a very powerful aspect because it allows you to use the shrouds without having to use a hotkey, right? So it does proc. There are some people in the comments and in my chat on stream saying that it doesn't work, but it does work. I have tested it. I'm playing with it. It does proc. The thing that you need to understand is that number 1, you need to have the actual skill, right? So you need to have this allocated. So in my case, I'm allocating 1 point in Dark Shroud. Dark Shrouds have been nerfed, but if you have only 1 point point in it, it's still super powerful. But like stacking it to 5 has been nerfed a little bit, but it doesn't matter for me because I don't want more points than 1, because all I want from this is basically some damage reduction that is passive, plus also the movement speed per Dark Shroud. So this is really, really good. It speeds me up even more, as if the build wasn't fast enough. But yeah, this is just like extra speed and the damage reduction. So it's very, very powerful. And then another thing you need to understand is that it does proc on lucky hit critical strikes. So you need to first of all have a lucky hit, so that's 50% chance, and then you need to crit. So I have like around 40% crit chance when I hit with like a penetrating shot, when it pierces a bunch, because it has the extra 20% chance. Then I have extra chance from the poison imbuement. I have a few other places of like extra critical strike chance, and then my flat crit strike chance is like around 10%, right? So all of those things increasing it mean that I am proccing it consistently. Sometimes when you shoot like a big pack, you just get full stacks of the shrouds. It doesn't seem to have an internal cooldown, so you can proc multiple of them just from hitting one pack if you're hitting with multiple hits. So that is really, really good. And another MVP of this build is also the storm, right? The arrow storm is super powerful. So I have this on a weapon. Lucky hits again, so lucky hits pretty important. With marksman skills, have up to 10% chance to create arrow storm. Basically, just like an arrow storm in like a circle raining upon enemies, and I basically just run around the monsters and shoot them, and they're standing in the AOE that is persistently hitting them, and that is very, very powerful. So that's basically it for the upgrades. If you have any questions about the build, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.